Welcome back, YouTubers, to another episode. This week I will be reviewing my new router. I say new because I've had it a couple of months. No point reviewing it after you've had it 5 minutes. So I've been playing around with it for the last few months. And if you didn't know, it's this one. It's the D26204K model from Dewalt, and I love it. It's brilliant. Let me just move the camera, show you what it is, and I'll explain why I love it. Okay, so to start off, as with all, well, certainly all the Dewalt kit that I've ever come across, it's a fairly substantial user guide, but at the end of the day, most of us don't read these. So I'll do the ancillaries first, just to show you what you get in the kit. So this particular kit comes with router, which is really easy to swap from one to another. Literally, just as quick as that. You can get a centering cone, which is really handy because if you put the supplied guide bush onto either of the bases, you can centre that up with the shank so that you know that guide bush is absolutely centred to the cutter. It comes with a 17mm guide bush, which is actually quite good quality. It comes with 3 sub bases for the 2 bases you get. You get your standard one on the Plunge base. You get like an offset D base, which is really good. It gives you a bit more surface area if you're trimming. You've got a bit more support on there. And then it comes with a standard kind of round base, which the guide bushes fit onto, as I've already shown. Also, this has got apertures, so you can fix jigs and things to the base. And the other handy thing about having these, you can make your own sub bases as well, either out of clear acrylic or out of MDF, which is what I normally do. Side fence with metal rods. And this one looks suspiciously like the mounting for the Trend T5. And see these slots in here. You can get a second bar, cast bar like this, which fixes on the end. And then from that is a screw thread and a dial which fits in this little notch. So you can have a micro adjust on there. So although it doesn't come with it, it's got the capability to. The cheeks on these, you can remove these quite easily and either use some hardwood to make some longer ones. To be honest, if you're going to make these out of hardwood, then I'd probably put a slot in there and have it so that it will close up, a bit like a split fence on a router table, just to give it a bit more clearance to stop the work dipping in or edge moulding. When you get to the end, you've got the ability to flick in. You get a additional side fence for the trim router, which fixes to the base in here. Let's do that. So that fixes on the side of the trim base, and obviously you can adjust the depth all the way in and past on the cutter. So there's plenty of adjustment on there, and again you can make that goes past, but you can actually make again some hardwood runners across the side there. That's great if you haven't got a rebate cutter. You've just got a 2 flute or a 3 flute straight cutter. You can set the fence like that, tighten it up, and cut your rebate. It's nice and light as well. It's not really cumbersome like some. Both bases come with dust extraction ports. This one screws over the front. you can connect your shop vac up to that hose, and a lot, it's not going to be all, but a lot of the debris then up the spout straight into your shop vac. Particularly good if you're routing this stuff MDF. I'll be honest, I haven't used these yet. The reason for that is my shop vac is dead and I haven't replaced the motor in it, so I can't tell you how efficient they are, but from previous experience these things work pretty well indeed. So that one, this one fits on the plunge base, and then that keeps nicely out of the way. Okay, so basically with this this router you get kind of two routers, I guess. You've got the motor, which is a 900 watt motor, so it's pretty powerful for the size actually, and it's also very quiet as well. It's much quieter than my old T4 which I had, and it's a little bit more powerful. So from that point of view I am very pleased with it, because routers being what they are, they can be very loud. And I'd never actually used a router that's kind of like, I sort of think of it as the American kind of router with the can and then the screw dial rather than plunge, and I'd never really seen the point of it, if I'm honest. You're pretty much limited to edge moulding, but I have to say, having used this with edge moulding, the one thing I absolutely love is you can just unlock it, and it's so easy to really kind of micro dial in and fine adjust your height, lock it, and you know that when you do your edge mould it's going to be the same. And also if you have to go back and do something else, you can unlock it and you can micro adjust to it. And this comes into play even more with the dovetail jig that I've got, and those kind of jigs, where with the second kind of base, the normal round base, with a guide bush in it, you can micro adjust your height for your depth of cut, which is great, particularly on a dovetail jig, and that I found works absolutely brilliantly. If you haven't got a micro adjustment for your plunge router, definitely get one. If you followed me for any length of time, or if you've seen my router series of videos I did last year, I did a whole episode on what to look for and basically how to choose a router, and I kind of followed my own rules a bit there, in so much as what I wanted the router to do, but also what I wanted it to do later on. So because I'd already got certain jigs which use certain guide bushes, I needed to make sure that it fitted with my existing jigs. So for example, my large circle cutting jig that I made last year, this fits straight onto here perfectly. It fits my existing guide bush range, so any of my jigs that I use with these guide bushes is set, and any of the combinations that I've already got going with my guide bushes and my straight cutters, that's all fixed. So I'm kind of converted now to these sort of one-handed laminate trimmer type bases. They're actually not as bad as I thought they were, so I can't eat my words on that one. Then I guess to the meat of it, I couldn't tell you what the exact depth of plunge is on this. Going the wrong way here. Just over 50mm depth of plunge, which is a lot actually. My last router only had 35. The aperture opening, 40mm, so I probably wouldn't put more than a 35mm cutter in there. Depth stop is very accurate. I found using it in conjunction with my Mortise and Tenon jig, very accurate on the scale here. 4-post turret, 1, 2, 3, 4 posts on the turret, but then there's also this fifth adjustable one as well. Say I'm doing, I don't know, haunched tenon, I can set the depth on one of these posts, say this middle one, and then the second cut I can set to this one, which doesn't necessarily meet within those. It might be that plus 2mm, and straight away I can swap between the two without having a second guess. I actually really like the routers that have got all adjustable posts, but just having one is plenty. It works kind of the opposite way that I'm used to, in that you have to release the lever to unlock it to allow you to move it, and then let go and it stays. I'm used to it being the other way around, so that you actually lock it in place. So you'd plunge and then lock it. But I think, and I was quite worried about that, I was sort of messing it up and getting it wrong. But actually it works really well, and the action on there is really smooth. You know, just if I undo that, then literally there's no real pressure. It's a really nice spring. Although it's a strong spring, it is a really nice smooth action, and that I absolutely love. And long may that continue, because it's one of those things, regularly moving part coupled with sawdust can be a complete nightmare. So that's really good. It's got six speed settings. Again, they're numbered, and in the manual it gives you a rough RPM to each number, so you can marry that up to the diameter of your cutters. I've been using straights, so they've been not more than about 1/2 inch, so it's been maximum speed the whole way. There's a lock, positive lock on the spindle. Collet's fixed in the nut. It's a 1/4 inch collet, and I do believe you can change that for an 8mm collet, which is really handy because I've got some 8mm cutters. And like the more expensive routers, there's actually, I believe, a pin which that pushes into the spindle to lock it, and there's 2 of them, so it locks. It's got a positive lock in 2 places. And the spanner you get, even though it's just a piece of stamped metal, it's actually really good quality. It's about twice the thickness of what I'm used to. Again, normally they're just a thin piece, and what happens is with the poorer quality ones, after a while you tighten it and untighten it. These teeth, prongs, sides of the spanner, they kind of splay out. And then lastly, it comes with a lovely long lead. That's a lot of lead to trip over, but also it gives you plenty of workspace. I'm really pleased. I'm looking forward to getting many more years use out of it. Anyone out there looking for a router to replace one or to get one, this one I can definitely recommend. I've got nothing to do with these guys. This was purely my choice, my money, my experience, and it definitely gets a thumbs up from me. So if you've got one, whether it's this model or kind of the equivalent model in the States, let me know how you find it, because I would be interested to know how other people find it. And likewise, if you do decide to get one, then let me know how things go. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you back here for another episode really soon.